one bringing in all these 5 stars.
They can't comment on that right now anyway. So.
That's right. Well, I'm honest. Shoot, I didn't know the title. That was the title of the job. I mean, what we're trying to do is get somebody to be aware of social media and things that we can use in recruiting, and be aware of putting out more things for prospects. The real director of recruiting is Steve Robinson. Well, yeah, I guess me. Steve Robinson, Hubert Davis, and Brad Frederick, because they're the guys that are out on the road. But I haven't, nobody ever asked me what I wanted the title be, so they put that, and that's okay.
That's close.
Yeah.
Sorry, as far as with Cole.
No, I could care what it is.
I mean, does he have any amount of connection?
I'm sorry.
Does he have any amount of connection with Kobe and Cole, and as far as kind of reaching point guards?
Well, I would hope so. I mean, he was a great point guard. I hope I don't recruit dumb guys. I hope they'll talk to him about certain things. But he has not been involved in the recruiting. I mean, last year, I guess he finished school at mid-year. Is that correct? And I tried to find some things for him to do just to hang around, and he watched practice every day. And so with Kobe, it was not at all. But with Cole, if Cole wants to talk about anything, and he doesn't go talk to Clint Waltney, he's going to go talk to Kendall. If he wants to talk about point guard play, if he wants to talk about a hotel room, he'll go talk to Clint. But I think for us, having 2 of the 5 most intelligent players I've ever been lucky enough to coach is who's on my staff right now, and that's Sean and Kendall. Sean's without a doubt the most intelligent big guy I ever coached. He could have played every position on the floor. And from the first day that Kendall stepped foot here on our team, I thought he was just extremely intelligent. I shouldn't even say it like that. I remember when he came and played pickup with our guys, maybe after his sophomore year in high school. We're at the football game, and I've never told this, but David Noel came over to me and said, "Who is that little guard?" And I said, "Kendall Marshall." He said, "Coach, he's really good." He said, "We're coming down the court, and he's telling me to go do this." And I'm thinking, who the crap are you? So I did what he said, and he threw me the ball, and I laid up. So even before he got here, but I think that Kendall was the best I've ever had at pitching the ball ahead, the best I've ever had of realizing time and score, the best I've ever had of realizing how many fouls were on the big guys on the other team. And just he was a true quarterback. He was a true coach on the floor. And I think he's eventually going to be a fantastic coach, and I think eventually he will be a great recruiter, but he's not able to do that for us now.
How do you see that role, like the definition of it, in terms of what he's doing other than like social media and stuff?
That's just what I said, guys. It's an evolving position. He's going to be aware of what's being used by us in social media to send our story out to recruits. He's going to be involved in finding me a tape on Steve Kirshner, that's a sophomore guard in Washington, D.C., and print it down and make it so I can see it in 5 minutes. But it is an evolving position, and it's never been a position I've had.
Well, you haven't had very many grad transfers during your time. What made Christian and Justin the right fit for this team?
Need. We needed some more guys. I think that we needed people on the perimeter. I didn't have as big a need up front. Christian gives you a little bit of scoring. He's got a tremendous flair, very gregarious personality. He's Theo Pinson Jr. But I think that the job that they did with him at Charleston Southern, he's been coached very well. He understands how to play. He hasn't ever met a shot he didn't like so far, but we'll see how that goes as we go down. And then Justin played for Tony Shaver at William & Mary, and they were making a coaching change, and he was looking for some other place. And I think his quality he has that'll be more beneficial to us than anything right now is his rebounding. I think he averaged over 8 rebounds a game for them last year, and he's a sneaky kind of rebounder that goes in and gets his hands on a lot of balls. But there was a tremendous need for a couple more players playing on the perimeter.
With rebounding, obviously Christian is not a big guy, but his rebounding numbers are really strong for someone that size. Did you see something about his willingness to go and attack the board, so you like those builds?
Well, he's just such and I'm not trying to say negative things about anybody, but he's a big-time athlete, and playing at a smaller level, he was just more athletic than a lot of the guys he's playing, and it'll be harder for him to have those kind of numbers for us. But I do want him to go rebound the basketball, and the same thing with Justin is that last year I thought at times our team was really good when Kenny and Cam Johnson and those guys got to the board and helped us rebound.
Typically, when you recruit kids, you get to know them over the course of time and get a gauge on what kind of a feel that they would have within inside of your program. When you're recruiting a couple grad transfers, you don't really have much of that opportunity. So what did you do in recruiting Christian and Justin to kind of find out if they would be good fits inside the program aside from basketball?
Well, I talked to their coaches. I mean, Barkley at Charleston Southern played for Eddie Fogler in South Carolina, so there was that friendship there, and me knowing him. Rick Duckett was one of our managers here and is a coach there, so that's some other source of information that I had on Christian. And again, Tony Shaver and Jonathan Holm at William and Mary. So that was more than anything. It was not me just picking out a kid and saying, okay, now let's find out about him. I talked to all of those guys before we really made the offer.
What do you think about the pay-for-play act in California? Do you think it's something that should happen here in North Carolina?
I have no idea. It's so daggum complicated. It's going to become in 2023. Hell, I hope I'm alive in 2023. You know, I hope I'm still teeing it up. But I've always thought, I've never been one to say, yes, I'm for paying players. But I've used this. Some of you have even heard me say the same thing. When Peyton Manning was at Tennessee, the first football game they sold, and I'll miss the numbers now, I did have it. They sold like 50,000 jerseys. That's $76 a jersey. And Peyton Manning didn't get 1 cent, and that's not right. So I've always had that feeling. It's been the biggest feeling. But guys are so much better off now today than they were 10 years ago, and hopefully we'll keep moving and make it a lot better for the student athletes. I mean, now when Sean May was playing for me, we had a prospect in, and we took him out to eat with the prospect. We had to take that money out of his meal money. And when Sean was going to go home, he had to pay for it. We didn't have the cost of attendance thing that we have now that's made it much more student athlete friendly. And so I'm hopeful that we'll keep making moves, but I've been trying to worry about if we're going to be able to stop somebody from scoring every time they wanted to, and I haven't read that law except for the fact that there's, we're in the United States of America, and there's a lot of things that are going on that I think are a little wacko, but it takes a while to change things.
Coach, what do you think about the new age recruitment as far as using social media, like how this summer, how Armando just kept us up to pace with just little, clues about who was coming, and it was just building excitement for fans. What was your thoughts on that? And do you see the necessity of social media for recruiting?
I have no idea, guys. I still don't know whether it's tweet or twit. Come on now. So, I'm not on social media. I don't have YouTube or Instagram or whatever all those things are. I don't have any of that. I don't see it. If there's something that they think I need to see, they show it to me. I have no idea. And Armando's another one. I mean, he doesn't have much of a filter. And so there's no telling what he's going to say. But I think there is a place for certain things in social media because we're trying to impress people. I mean, recruiters like begging. Good God, that's all it is. And so what you're doing is giving them so much information and begging them to come play for you. So I think that there is a spot for it. But you're talking to a guy, I guarantee you, everybody in here now and even after you're dead is going to know more than I know about social media.
What have you seen from Cole Anthony, and do you think he's further along than maybe Kobe was at this point?
He's a different point guard. Kobe was more of a scoring point guard, which I'm okay with. I like point guards that do something great, and I thought Kobe did that great. Cole can score, but Cole is more of a quarterback back there, is trying to get other people the ball in that situation. Kobe had a belief that he could make every shot, and he made a bunch of them. And I loved what he was doing. I wanted him to be so much more aggressive because I thought we had with Luke and Kenny and Cam, we had some perimeter shooters, but I love the way Kobe always attacked. With Cole, we don't have those types of shooters with him. And I think that he's got a chance that he'll find some guys for easier shots. But I love both of them. I would love to have had both of them together. I would have sat over and leaned back in my lawn chair if I had both of them together. But they're different, and Cole is good defensively. I've said this to him and said it publicly. I think in high school he was the best defensive rebounding guard I'd ever seen, and we're going to need him to go rebound the defensive board for us too. And but still different players. It was fun watching them on the USA under-19 team, I think it was, when they were backcourt mates. It was fun watching that team.
Is he a special athlete in terms of comparing to some other players you've had? Cole?
He's very athletic as a point guard, but Raymond Felton was athletic. Kendall Marshall was not. Eric, be sure and tell him I said so. But he used his brain more than anybody I've ever had to coach. Cole's right up there, one of the athletic. I don't even know if have we officially measured everybody yet, Eric? Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes he looks like he's 6'5", sometimes he doesn't. But I like the way he plays.
Personality-wise, how have Cole and Armando and Justin, Chris coming in meshed with some of the guys that have been around for a while?
Well, I think it's been driven partially or mostly by B-Rob and Garrison. They've accepted them so quickly, and it's never been, these are the old guys and these are the new guys. It's never been that from the first day of practice. And I think because of the other things we do when some of the former players are here, it's always our current team against the former players. And I think going through that in the summer does help them get together. But Cole and Armando are very good teammates, and they've accepted them from the very first day. And that's been something that, I can never remember talking to any group about, these guys are on our team too, let's put our arms around them. I don't know that I've ever had that conversation, but this one's been very, very easy with that.
You mentioned B-Rob and Garrison, and those guys have been around the longest. Are those guys the leaders de facto because they've been here so long, or is that something that happens organically and really is still a work in progress?
It's still in progress, but I think those two guys, the veterans, they understand things. They're the ones I'm asking the questions. Okay, what do you think about this? And everybody else understands that. I think the younger guys respect the fact that they've been here. I'll go back again. Last year, Kobe was one of our leaders because it's the natural part of being a point guard. And so Cole will be that. And Cole won the 12-minute run. He did the best job in the 33 conditioning program. He did a great job another day. So he's sort of gathered their respect by working. And that's been something that's pretty neat.
You just kind of went over.
Coach, with that being said, are there any specific players that are you looking into to step up and be leaders this year?
Not really. I think it does happen naturally most of the time. Again, that point guard spot is a leadership position, so that person ends up having it. And Cole understands. I'd say something to Cole, I'd correct him, and he'd just nod his head and then change. And so that part's going to help the team as well. But Garrison and Brandon Robinson have not only been here the longest, okay, because Sterling and Huff and Andrew and those guys have been here as long as Garrison, but Garrison's had more time on the court, so there's a respect for when you're the defensive player of the year, your teammates respect that a great deal too.
You just mentioned about 6 of your former point guards in terms of talking about these guys, and obviously that's a position that for you as a coach is particularly important and all that. When you have a guy like Cole coming in, and even a guy like Kobe you talked about, what's your level of sort of anticipation as you start to think about what you can do as a coach with a player like this, and especially as these guys' skill sets seem to change from year to year and they have shorter tenures?
Yeah, Kobe was easier in one way because his natural inclination to play was push the pace. And yes, that's the way we like. So that part was easy. Then I had to get him to understand that sometimes it might not be your shot that's the best shot. In high school, if he shot it, I thought it was the best shot. So we had to convince that, and that was a very natural thing with him too. So as you said, they are different, but it's I enjoy it. It's a level of excitement having that kind of guy that can make everybody else better. And I do think Kobe's ability to attack the basket made Cam and Kenny and Luke get more open outside shots because he would attack the basket so hard and push the pace so hard. And I think that's what I'm hoping that Cole will be able to do as well.
What is the latest on Sterling Manley's knee?
He's not practicing. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to get Coach Rivera. I loved it when he walked out. He got tired of answering the same daggone question, but I don't know. I really don't. I mean, Sterling's not doing anything. I mean, nothing. And the easiest way to figure that out is that when he gets to the point that he can start practicing, it will tell you. But he's doing nothing. I mean, well, I shouldn't say that. At the start of the big man drills, I pass the ball the first 6, and then he ambles out there and he passes the ball inside. And he doesn't shoot. He doesn't run. He doesn't get down in a stance. He doesn't. I mean, he's not playing. And if you're asking what's the progress report down the road, I have no idea. I have no idea. There's no other way you can ask me anything. I have no idea. I do not know when he will play, period. Do you have anything better?
No, what Doug told me is that they are still evaluating what caused the recurrence of soreness in his knee. They're still looking at that. So
I mean,
when they determine why that has reoccurred, then they'll take a course of action.
He had surgery. I mean, have we not told people he had surgery? No. Oh, he had surgery. Jesus Christ, I thought we'd told everybody. I mean, he's not playing. He looks really damn good in a suit, standing on the side, but that's all I can tell you, guys. He is not playing. And it's the same kind of thing. He didn't play last year at the end of the year last year.
Coach, do you think you'll be able to go back to more of a 2 big man lineup this season? Your thoughts on that kind of? I know you like to play 2.
I'd like to play 2 big guys. I'm more comfortable doing that, and it's no big deal. The line, how far did the line move back? That far? My own personal opinion is the shooting percentage will go down a little bit. I think that's pretty calm and easy to figure out. Well, that doesn't bother me because I want to throw the sucker inside anyway. So, yeah, I think I'd like to play 2 big guys. And Garrison gives you the freedom of knowing that he played the 4 and the 5 last year, and we've tried to get him better at shooting face and jump shot, and he's worked at it. He's worked at it with Coach Davis, and but then you got Huff and Armando. Sterling is not playing. Walker's playing. Am I leaving somebody out? Is that it? Is that it? Yeah, I'd like to play 2 big guys.
With so many new faces, how big of a learning?
Did I leave somebody out the way you were looking there? Did I leave somebody out?
No.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Ross just curious with all the new faces, how big of a learning curve is it to get them?
It's not that much different from other years. I mean, last year, we had Leakey and Kobe and Nasir that we thought were going to be in our top 6 or 7. So this year we got Cole and Christian and Justin and Armando. So we have 4 of those guys that we think will be in our top 6 or 7. So it's pretty similar there. The good thing you have is, and I think evidently it's the reason I do it, is because I think it's good. We have 4 practices for an hour and a half once a week in the summer to try to get them used to. But that's just more or less getting them used to the pace. Now we start teaching and doing a lot more than just, a lot of it in the summer is evaluating too, trying to decide who we do have, who is Christian Keeling, who is Justin Pierce, how is Cole Anthony going to make the adjustment. But now it's something that we go through every year, and some teams really pick it up quickly. Kobe was really quick. Kobe understood what he wanted him to do, and I think Cole was so far shown that he's the same way.
We got time for about 4 more questions.
Roy, you lost a lot of perimeter shooting production. Kind of what are your thoughts on what this team can provide from that?
Well, we lost not only perimeter production, we lost our 5 top scorers. So we got to figure out how to score. But I've talked to them. We don't have Kenny. We don't have Luke. We don't have Cam. It's like Rick's old story about they're not going to come walking in the door. And so we've got to have guys that make shots. So you got to work at it better. The first 5 minutes of practice is shooting form. And if you're intelligent, you'll really concentrate during that 5 minutes because you can help yourself. If you're intelligent, you'll understand every day we talk about good shot and bad shot, and that can help us. And at the same time, if we're going to have, if our perimeter shooting is not going to be as good as it was last year, then we got to balance out some. We got to rebound it better. We got to defend a little better. We got to play a little smarter. We got to protect the rim more. We've got to score at the rim more. So you got to just balance out how to play. But no, those are big time losses.
Roy, Raymond Felton said he felt like it took him the whole first year before you handed him the keys to the car, so to speak, and trusted him to run the offense and everything like you like. What's the process like for you, for a point guard to earn your trust?
To do what I tell him to do. It's pretty easy, but Raymond was so tough mentally. But Raymond's shot wasn't going in his sophomore year. You go look at the stats, it's like 29%. And he wasn't establishing the defensive presence I wanted him to at the center line. In his junior year, he worked harder on his shot between those 2 years than anybody I've ever seen, and made more significant improvement than anybody I've ever coached. And not only just the shot, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, his junior year, second year with me, he led the ACC in three-point shooting. And the year before, it looked awful. And that was nothing but his sweat. And he also established our defensive presence by drawing a line at the center line and making it difficult on the other team's guard. But, I don't think that he didn't agree with what I was asking him to do. It just took a while for him to understand it and get better at it. And I think it's a tremendous credit to him, because seriously, guys, this is 32 years. I've never seen anybody change their shot like Raymond Felton did, and I've never seen anybody change their body in his play like Sean May did. So those were two special guys there.
Coach.
But some guys change immediately, and some guys don't have to change very much. Yes.
Coach, with the return of the two big men lineup and then bigger point guards like Cole, what's the level of physicality?
So, well, now Cole's not as big as Kobe. Okay, so he's not bigger than Kobe. I mean, even without the hair, he's not bigger than Kobe. Okay.
But, with someone as strong as Cole is, I guess, what's the level of physicality with this team compared to last team?
Geez. I think Kobe was just as physical as Cole. Kenny was very physical, drawing charges. Luke was very physical. Cam was not as physical. Neither say B-Rob's not as physical. We just got to be able to rebound the basketball. That's all it is. And the toughness issue between right ear and left ear is what I like better than necessarily physical play. I think beating the guy to the spot's better than trying to hit him when he comes across you. So for me, it's I don't talk about the physical part of it. I just talk about going and getting the ball off the board.
Take two more.
Coach, what do you want the identity of this team to become? And whatever that identity is, how long do you think it'll take to develop that with this current roster?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that, because I think we've had 4 practices this summer and had 4 right now, and I don't think you really get to know the identity of your team until you start playing games and having some adversity, and especially maybe a little earlier, late in your preseason practice, you play an exhibition or play a scrimmage, and we scrimmage Villanova again this year, so we'll know some more at that time. But I think it'll be a running team, and I think it'll be a good defensive team, even though we lost Kenny. Kenny was fantastic defensively, but I think that some of the other guys will pick it up a little bit and be pretty good defensively too. But I think it's right now, I can't tell you.
Last question, Ed.
Roy, we're in the last days of the so-called one and dones, and you always said you would have been right there with them had you been able to, and now that you are you conscious of that we're coming to an end of an era in a sense, and has it changed your recruiting?
Not so far, no. I think that when it changes, everybody's going to have that decision to make. Okay, do I recruit Ed, or is he going to go straight to the NBA? Well, if he's going to go straight to the NBA, I better make sure I recruit Luke. Something like that. I think it'll change. My first year back here is when was the last year that you could go straight to the NBA. And I remember just trying to find out what J.R. Smith and Marvin were going to do, and going to Marvin's home, and we left, and I said, he's going to the NBA, and I went to J.R.'s home and left there in J.R., and I said that he's going to go to the NBA, and I went to see Marvin. Marvin said he was coming, but so we'll make adjustments like everybody will have to. I think you'll still try to recruit the best players, but you don't want to recruit the 5 best, because if they all leave, then you don't have anybody. And I think one last thing too, and I may have said, I thought we had said that Sterling, when did he have surgery?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's after the season, so I didn't come and talk to you. And I'm not on Twitter or whatever the hell it is, so I didn't send you a tweet that Sterling was having surgery.